breaking news out of Sandusky, Ohio, and that is we now have new track on site at Cedar Point for their 2024 project. Not only do we have the first shipment of new track and supports for Dragster 2.0, we now know officially the colors of the ride, and it's definitely not Intamin because this track does not look like Intamin at all. There's so much to cover here, so let's get into this. Now, just recently, I released a video stating that this is definitely not Intamin, and I know El Toro Ryan and a few other creators already said it was Zamperla, but from my sources and basically for really what I just felt like my gut was telling me it was going to be Intamin, it sadly is Zamperla. So I'm still kind of coping with that, and I think it's definitely going to be exciting to kind of see what Zamperla can do here. But again, I definitely wish this was coming from Intamin and not Zamperla. And as to why, I highly recommend checking out that video. But let's get into this very exciting stuff here, because it appears that there's a lot of new track and a few pieces of supports for Dragster 2.0 in the staging area, which is located right next to Cedar Point Express Hotel. And a huge shout out goes to Lake Erie Lifestyles for breaking this news for all of us to see, as he was able to fly his drone over this and get a very up close view of the track as well as the supports. And if you are not subscribed to Lake Erie Lifestyles right now, then what are you waiting for? Seriously, he gives you updates on the project a few times each week, so I highly recommend checking out his channel. Now, after examining all the track pieces that are now sitting in the staging lot, in my opinion, it appears that this track is definitely for the reverse spike. At least the track located here. The other track I am curious about, because it appears as if this track can also be equipped with a brake mechanism or a launch mechanism fins that run down the middle of it to accelerate or slow down the train. But again, this could also be track for the spike. And it appears this area over to your right, it's hard to really make out what this is. So maybe it's handrails or guardrails that run along the launch sections of this new coaster. I don't know, it's really hard to really zoom in on that. But again, I don't think that is track. But again, I could be wrong here. But maybe the most intriguing piece of this are the huge support pieces that are laying on the ground. These things are massive. So how tall will this coaster be? And since it's not Intamin redoing the project, and it is Zamperla, does that really kind of dampen the actual height of the ride? Will Zamperla really want to go 300, 400, and maybe even 500 feet for the spike? I don't know. I would guess with Intamin, the spike will be a little bit taller, since obviously Intamin's known to build some really tall roller coasters, including the top 3 or 4 in the world. All I know is, baby, I'm ready to go. I am very excited for this project. I'm definitely not as excited since it's Zamperla, but overall, I'm excited that Dragster's back at Cedar Point in 2024, and whether it's not going to be as intense launch and not the same trains, I'm definitely curious about it. And if you love Dragster as much as I do, then I highly recommend you checking out my online merch store so you too can get a shirt just like this to wear in the theme parks. They're very comfortable, affordable, as well as it's all Dragster, so it's very exciting times. But again, white track, dark gray steel supports. I'm not really sold on the color scheme as of yet, and I explained that in the video I just released. I just feel like it's not going to really pop as much as the red track and bright yellow. I was never a huge fan of the yellow supports, but again, I just feel like red track would do much better on this than the white track. But I do feel like night rides can be really cool because the ride's lighting package could really be epic. And one last thing as to why this is not going to have a space theme is notice here, circled in pink, you can see brand new flags that just got shipped out for this new ride. So obviously this new coaster is going to have a racing theme, just like Cedar Point teased in their Dragster hype video last year. So I definitely think the word formula will be a part of the name in some way, and that's great because it keeps the racing theme for this new coaster. And again, There's a lot of things we still don't know about this project, like how will the old station play into the new ride, or where will the new station be located? Where's the queue line going to be? Here's the thing I'm kind of curious about, just thinking about it right now as I'm looking at this image, and that is, let's say all this track is indeed for the Spike. Right now it appears that I see 3 pieces, let's see, 6, 8, 9, about 12 pieces of track for the Spike. Now, when you measure those pieces out, they look to be about 30 to maybe 30 feet long. I don't really have the technology to pull the measurements up for that, but it makes you wonder, if this is indeed for the Spike, how tall will it be? Could Zamperla shock us again, since they're doing the Dragster project and actually build the Spike 400 plus feet tall? I mean, I don't know. I do not know, but the more I'm looking at this track, it feels like this could be for the Spike, and if that's the case, that's great news for all of us, because I don't think any of us would complain if the Spike was taller. Again, a huge shout out goes to Lake Erie Lifestyles. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I highly recommend it. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you're not a Theme Park Prediction subscriber yet, then I hope you consider becoming one. With all that being said, what are your thoughts about this? What do you think of the colors? What do you think about Zamperla? Let me know all your thoughts, because I love reading them. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.